I mean, it's not that big, right? You know when you buy a new TV, which is usually bigger than your last one? Well, now we've got a 100-inch TV. This is officially the biggest TV we've ever had in the studio, and I might need a hand, Pete, getting this out of the box. Let me introduce you to the 100-inch LG QNED evo QNED86 4K Mini LED Smart TV, and this thing is just spectacular. You can actually get this in a 55, a 65, a 75, and 86, which may actually be a better option depending on the size of your house and, you know, your wall. And if you're looking at the rest of the QNED evo lineup that has Mini LED, then look out for the QNED85, 86, 92, and the 9M. But you can't argue that a bigger TV just makes everything you're watching, movies, games, sports, feel so much more immersive. Did you know, in fact, that a 100-inch TV is nearly double the screen surface area compared to a 75-inch TV? It's about 77% bigger and 136% bigger than a 65-inch. Going from a 75 to 100 is actually a really big upgrade. So LG very kindly sent over both the 75 and the 100-inch QNED86 TVs, so I could see for myself the difference of going for an even bigger TV. It's a tough gig, guys, but someone's got to do it. So what kind of things are better when watched on an ultra-big TV, particularly a 100-inch one? Well, obviously movies, TV shows, but also gaming. So let's say you've set up your new 100-inch TV, whether it's on the stand or wall-mounted, but the first thing I'm probably going to do on this, any new TV really, is fire up a games console. So speaking of gaming, the QNED86 supports a 120Hz refresh rate and actually 144Hz if you connect it to your PC. We get variable refresh rates, we get an auto low latency mode, AMD FreeSync Premium. So whether you're playing on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, it's actually a really capable gaming TV. And at this size, it just makes anything you're playing look even more impressive. And especially if you're split screen gaming, I'm not sure I can go back to a smaller screen now. Other benefits? Well, I don't need a green screen anymore, or even to go on holiday. This is Tech Chat will be thrilled. I can plug in my Mac or my Windows PC and have an absolutely ridiculous desktop, and then get some work done, edit this video perhaps, pair it with Bluetooth keyboard, Bluetooth mouse, and you're good to go. Perhaps even use it as the world's largest camera viewfinder. So this is the biggest TV I've ever had in the studio here, and while I have tested projectors before, which obviously can go bigger, they have their own downsides. You have to have a screen, ideally, to make them look good. They can still be washed out. They can also be a lot more expensive if you go for a short throw. And also, if you go for a proper long throw projector, then there's a whole lot of installation to go along with it. There's actually a lot of downsides. For me, I would rather have a very large TV than a projector system, although obviously everyone's different, how your setup is. But let's talk about this TV specifically, the 100-inch QNED86. Well, it's part of LG's QNED evo lineup, and we have what LG call this cinema design, with impressively slim bezels, given how big this is, a low-profile stand, which can be mounted higher or lower, depending on whether you want a soundbar beneath it. I also appreciate we have this centrally placed stand for the TV. I think if it had legs at the edge, feet if you will, there'd be no way I could get this on my TV stand. And actually it is quite deep, so I've got a little bit of an overhang at the back there. And also it was really easy to install. It took about 2 minutes. You just put 4 screws into this base plate, then with this 100-inch model, 6 into the back of the TV, and you're good to go. It really is pretty simple. But it's also massive and weighs quite a bit, so make sure you've got a buddy to help you. To be honest though, I do think wall mounting would be the best option with a TV this size, giving it a slightly lower profile in the room, but you have the option. Round the back we have 4 HDMIs, all full fat 2.1 spec, and with HDMI 3 also supporting eARC for all your soundbar or speakers. But what about the screen itself? 4K, 144Hz, Dolby Vision, HDR10. We also get a mini LED backlight with precision dimming for better contrast, brightness, and viewing angles. We get their new dynamic QNED color, which is LG's latest wide color gamut technology with a certified 100% color volume, so rich, accurate colors. And then behind the scenes, we have their new AI processor. This handles all the image processing, the 4K upscaling, it keeps the WebOS 25 menus feeling fast and responsive, and it powers all the AI features. First thing I do with a new LG TV, aside from check if it's updated the software, is go into General, AI Service, and then turn on AI Picture Pro, Sound Pro, Genre Selection, and the brightness settings. I generally keep all this on, and particularly AI Picture Pro. This combines AI Super Upscaling and Dynamic Tone Mapping Pro to analyze each frame on screen and enhance the resolution, the brightness, the color, the sharpness. AI Sound Pro, when turned on, gives you virtual 9.1.2 channels with dynamic sound boost, and it really does improve the quality. Although of course you'll be best off with a soundbar or speaker system. You can turn it all off if you prefer, and of course in Game Optimizer mode it disables a lot of this processing to improve the latency and the response time, but for watching TV and movies, I like to keep it on. Who's this guy? Ugh, his videos are awful. Now in terms of picture profiles, I like to generally use the Expert Bright, ISF Expert Bright space. There's also a dark space for, if it's darker in your room. You've got Filmmaker mode. I also appreciate its ambient Filmmaker mode, so actually it detects the light around you in the room and then adjusts the brightness to give you the best image quality. You've also got Game Optimizer, turns off a lot of the processing, and because you've got that ALLM, Auto Low Latency mode, when you fire up a games console, it knows you're playing a game, so it will go into this automatically. Same with HDR picture modes as well. Sports, Cinema, Auto Power Save, Standard, Vivid, and also Personalized Picture. If you go into the Personalized Picture wizard, it gives you a kind of A/B test where you pick your favorites from a few images, and then the AI will create a personalized picture profile just for you. And similarly, there's an AI Sound wizard where you choose the audio you like from a selection of sound clips, and then you get a sound profile tuned to your preferences. And if you do pair the TV with one of LG's compatible soundbars, they work together really well, and you can access all their wow features like Wow Orchestra, Wow Cast. And if you're going to spend a whole bunch of money on a nice big new TV, get a good sound system to go with it. This is the Magic Remote, or actually the AI Magic Remote, because there's a dedicated AI button here. If I press that once, it brings up this AI concierge. You'll get content recommendations, you can search for things, but also if I hold it down, picture mode, vivid. Did that work? Excellent, that worked, I couldn't tell. We also have this little chat bot, and then this is a really handy way of kind of troubleshooting any problems you might have. You can go in screen sound, system settings, you're not quite sure where to find a menu or what's happening. The screen is too dark, for example. It'll then tell me how to fix it. You can also register your own voice with the AI Voice ID, so when you speak to the TV, it recognizes it's you, and then it can give you content recommendations based on what you like to watch. But of course, you don't have to use any of this. Couple of things that could be improved. Well, I like to turn off the home promotion option so that the top third of my screen isn't one big commercial advertisement thing, which it is by default. Also, bear in mind, if you do go for the bigger TVs, like 100 inches, it is very heavy. So if you do plan to wall mount it, make sure you have a beefy enough bracket and that your wall can take it. And I also wouldn't be against LG refreshing the remote control. It does the job well, but I wouldn't say no to a slightly more premium looking controller. I'm also pleased to report if you do buy one of these TVs, it's part of LG's Renew program, so you are guaranteed the next 4 major OS updates to WebOS. So that will see you through, WebOS 29? Unless they change their naming schemes, so you're getting really good software support with these TVs. So what do you make of my new 100-inch TV? Could you see yourself getting one of these? If you do fancy it, or perhaps more likely a smaller size, I will leave links in the description below. Also, let me know what the first thing you watch or play is on a new TV. Like, what's your go-to movie? For me, it's Top Gun Maverick. It used to be Band of Brothers. Right, that's enough of me waffling. I'm actually going to watch some TV now, so see you next time.